person's life is not shaped by luck, background, or circumstances. It is shaped by their thoughts. This simple truth has been proven again and again by great individuals like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos. They all started with one powerful habit: thinking big. As Napoleon Hill once said, "What you think, you become." But here is the real question. If thinking shapes reality, why do so many people remain stuck in small lives? Why do they fail to achieve big success? Today's story will answer that question. It will show you the hidden power of thinking big and how one simple change in mindset can transform an ordinary life into something extraordinary. In a small, dusty town surrounded by dry hills and broken roads, there lived a boy named Arman. His house was tiny, his clothes were simple, and his family struggled to meet daily needs. Every morning, Arman would walk several kilometers to reach his school. His shoes were worn out, and sometimes he had to walk barefoot. But despite all this, there was something different about him. Arman didn't think like others. While the other children talked about finding small jobs after school, Arman would sit quietly and imagine something bigger. "I will build something great one day," he often whispered to himself. People laughed at him. "Look at your condition," they said. "You can't even afford proper shoes and you're talking about greatness." Their words were harsh, but Arman had learned something important. People who think small will always try to shrink your dreams. One day, a luxury car stopped near Arman's school. It was the first time such a car had ever entered that village. Everyone gathered around in curiosity. A well-dressed man stepped out. He was confident, calm, and carried an aura of success. Arman couldn't resist. He walked up to him and asked, "Sir, how did you become so successful?" The man looked at him carefully and smiled. "Tell me first, what do you want to become?" Arman replied without hesitation. "I want to become someone big, someone who changes lives." The man's smile grew wider. "Good, but let me ask you, how big do you think?" Arman paused. For the first time, he had no answer. The man leaned closer and said, "Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they think too small. They set limits on themselves before even trying." He pointed toward the sky. "If you aim for the ground, you will never rise. But if you aim for the sky, even if you fall, you will land among the stars." Those words struck Arman deeply. Before leaving, the man said one final sentence: "Your life will grow only as big as your thinking." That night, Arman couldn't sleep. The man's words echoed in his mind again and again. Your life will grow only as big as your thinking. He realized something powerful. He had dreams, but even his dreams had limits. That night, Arman made a decision. He would no longer think small. Instead of dreaming of a small job, he began to imagine building a company. Instead of thinking about survival, he started thinking about impact. Instead of fearing failure, he started embracing challenges. Arman's life didn't change overnight. He still faced struggles. He still lacked money. He still walked barefoot to school. But something inside him had changed, and that changed everything. He started studying harder than ever before. He read books, learned new skills, and asked questions fearlessly. While others wasted time, Arman invested in himself. Whenever he felt tired, he reminded himself, "Think big, stay big." Years passed. Arman earned a scholarship and moved to a big city. Life became even more challenging, but his thinking remained strong. Slowly, step by step, he started building something of his own. A small idea turned into a small project. The small project turned into a growing business, and that business turned into a company. 10 years later, Arman returned to his village, but this time he didn't walk in barefoot. He arrived in a car just like the man he had once met. People gathered around him, amazed and curious. "Is that really Arman?" they whispered. "The same boy who had nothing?" Arman smiled. He visited his old school, stood in the same place where he once dreamed, and looked at the children around him. One of them asked, "Sir, how did you become successful?" Arman paused for a moment, then said, "I changed one thing: the way I think." The powerful lesson. Arman's story teaches us a life-changing truth. Your life does not depend on where you start. It depends on how big you think. If you think small, your actions will be small. If you think big, your actions will grow to match your vision. The world does not reward those who limit themselves. It rewards those who dare to dream beyond limits. Final message. So today, ask yourself one question. Are you thinking big enough?